Namaste children. So today we are going to deal with the lesson force and pressure. Here in this lesson we'll discuss mainly about the definition of force, effects of force, types of force, in that contact and non-contact forces, balanced and unbalanced forces. Then we'll discuss about pressure, its formula, thrust, pressure in the case of solids, liquids and also gases. Then we'll also discuss about applications of high pressure and also low pressure. Then we'll also discuss about atmospheric pressure, how it changes with the height. As we know, force is a push or a pull or both. A force cannot be seen, but we can feel it and we also can observe the effects of force. So by pushing an object, a force moves an object away from our bodies. Related to the surroundings, the object is going to move away. Then force is a pull where we apply force to move the object towards our body. According to the surroundings, the object is going to move towards us. Then, if it is a combination of these two, then we can see the applications of push and also pull, playing a guitar, scrubbing the floor, sawing the wood, and also rowing a boat. So, as we have seen already that force is a push or a pull on an object. It changes or tends to change the state of rest or state of motion of an object by a push or pull. And it cannot be seen, but effect we are going to feel. And it is caused by an interaction. The interaction of one object on the other object produces a force between the two objects. The force acting on an object the same direction add to each other. Means if two forces are acting on the same direction, we'll add the two forces to find out the net force. This again we are going to discuss in balanced and unbalanced forces. If the forces acting on an object are in opposite direction, then the net force acting on it is the difference between the two forces. And the strength of the force is nothing but its magnitude. The SI unit of force is Newton. And also we have CGS unit of force, dyne. Then coming to the effects of force. The force can change the state of the motion of an object, or the force can change the state, shape, size of an object. Right. So once again, we'll have a look on effects of force. It changes the shape temporarily, it changes the shape permanently, or it changes the direction of a moving object, it changes the speed of a moving object, or it stops a moving object or makes stationary object move. Here we come to the types of forces. The forces may be contact force or it may be non-contact force. Coming to the contact force, it is caused by the physical contact between the two objects. Non-contact force is created by when there is no contact, that is physical contact between the two objects. Contact forces can be of two types, muscular force and also frictional force. Muscular force is caused by the action of Here we can see the examples for contact forces and also non-contact forces. Under contact forces, we can see that the applied force, the spring force, which is also known as elastic force, drag force, frictional force, and also normal. And under non-contact force, we can see the magnetic force, electric force, and also gravitational force. Here we can also see some more examples for the contact force. Here we are having one more example for frictional force. You can also see the examples for muscular force. Coming to the non-contact forces, these forces are created. There is no physical contact between the two objects. In that, we have magnetic force, which is exerted by a magnet, and here we have electrostatic forces. This is exerted by a charged body on another charged body or uncharged body. And coming to gravitational force, this attraction between the two objects or attraction between object and the earth. And this force is acting on all objects in the universe. Here we can see the application of gravitational force. Here we can see the explanation of electric force or electrostatic force. Here you can see the two pictures. In the first picture, glass rod is rubbed. The second picture, ebonite rod is rubbed. The first picture, glass rod is rubbed with a silk cloth. The second picture, ebonite rod is rubbed with a fur or woolen cloth. So whenever glass rod is rubbed with a silk cloth, it's going to get a charge, and even ebonite rod also will get a charge. Glass rod getting a positive charge will be attracted towards the ebonite rod, which is getting a negative charge. Here we have magnetic force. Next, coming to one more classification of forces, balanced and unbalanced. Here we can see the picture of balanced forces. When two or more than two forces are applied on an object in different directions, but the net force is becoming equal. That means if the force is applied on one object in different directions or opposite directions, then the net force becomes zero. Then there is no change in the state of motion or change, and there is no change in the state of rest of the object. Here we can see some examples for balanced forces and even unbalanced also we have. Here we come to the unbalanced forces. Here you can see some pictures where in two different directions different forces are created. Different forces are applied on one object. First picture you can see tug of war, where one person is applying 50 newtons of force on the opposite direction. Another person is applying 30 newtons of force. And the net force becomes equal to 50 minus 30, that is nothing but 20 newtons. So the direction of the rope will be in the direction of the person who is pulling that with 50 newtons of force. In the second picture you can see the bird. One force is applied 60 newtons and in the opposite direction 25 newtons. So the bird is going to move towards the force of 25 newtons. So here the net force will become 25 minus 16, it's nothing but 9 newtons. The third picture you can see a vehicle is there on which 5 newtons of force is applied on one direction, and in the opposite direction 2 forces are there, 6 newtons and also 6 newtons, altogether 12 newtons. So the vehicle is going to move in the direction where 12 newtons of force is created. Here the net force will become 12 minus 5, that is nothing but 7 newtons. The fourth picture you can see 300 newtons and 100 newtons in opposite directions, and this is we know already that this is a rocket. It's going to move in 300 newtons direction. So net force here it will become 300 minus 100, that is nothing but 200 newtons. Here we can see some more examples of balanced and unbalanced forces with the help of calculations.